All right, we should be live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Let me make sure this window's good. Okay. All right. Who do we got first in the house today? Oh, my pinned message is blocking. Wait, was it Chris? It was Chris. Wait. Why is this not popping up? Come on, let's go. What up, Chris? How's it going, Craig Lilly? We got staying in the house. Hope family's doing well. We just started giving my little ones smushed up avocado, and it's been going good. Nice. I believe that's what we started with initially. The girls just finished feeding their solids, and when I say solids, I mean purees. Right now, we're on 2 solid meals per day, trying to up that so we can down the formula. But nice. Glad to hear it's going well for you. Right now, for us, success is through actually spoon feeding them. When we give them the spoons or when we give them like chunks of food, it's just a huge mess. So hopefully we can transition to them feeding themselves without them being like reliant on being spoon fed, because that would be horrible. But right now, just for them to get their nutrition, we're spoon feeding. But glad to hear on your end it's going well. Or maybe well is relative, right? So long as they're eating, no matter the mess they make. But glad to hear, Stang. And thanks for the update on the fam. Yeah, time to renew my membership by watching YouTube. Pause. It saying it doesn't like my card. Then when I click join and renew, it works fine. Dumb YouTube. Yeah, YouTube be weird. What up, Kale? What up, J Nibiru? Heavy metal tech in the house. Hello. About to go make dinner. What's for dinner? Melissa is making some Japanese curry with multicolored carrots upstairs at the moment. So that is what I have waiting for me after the stream. We got Ken in the house. Hello. Good afternoon / evening chat. Woof. What up, Ken? Glad to see you in the chat. What's up, Colossal Crow? Hello, Katka. Rutojin. I may be just an old man, but I don't really see any reason to get Hall Effect keyboards. Honestly, we're going to talk about that today, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. Okay, so I don't know if I can say truly that I've never used a Hall Effect keyboard before, because I've been to, like, you know, conventions and stuff like that where they have demos, and I've, like, messed around and stuff, but I don't recall if any of those were Hall Effect. I may have put my hands on a Hall Effect keyboard at some point in my life. So that's why I don't want to say this is my first time using a Hall Effect keyboard. I may have unknowingly used one, or maybe if my friends had one and I didn't realize. But this will be my first time knowingly using a Hall Effect keyboard, and we'll test it. We'll see if it affects typing speed. Probably not, but I'm curious to hear people's opinions and what people have as well. But yeah, like I've said in previous streams, the companies are always trying to send me stuff, and it's really hard for me to make a video on every single product, especially if it doesn't align with the main channel's topics, which is PC computing for the most part. But it's interesting to still check out on stream. What's 1 second? I need to help my sister-in-law who just got here. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Sister-in-law just got here with formula stuff, watered and mixed, so I had to help her unload it real fast from the car. Colossal Crow got the same hoodie on. Same color too? Or same design? Okay, let's see. Just clicky mechanical keyboards. Just clicky blue mechanical keyboards is all I need. I have not been on a clicky blue for I don't know how many years. I transitioned over to brown switches around, I would say, 2017-ish. But I got my first mechanical keyboard, which was a clicky blue Razer. Was it Black Widow? Is that what those models were? In like 2011-ish, I believe, 2012. So, I think a lot of people start on them blues. Maybe not nowadays. Like, I feel like, you know, what, 15 years ago, and even further back, right? It's pretty limited what kind of mechanical keyboards you could have. But nowadays, my goodness, like, there are so many different companies, so many different random switches now that aren't like the traditional standard ones. Like, I don't know how people can choose, honestly. This keyboard that we're going to unbox and test out on this stream, I have no idea what these switches are. When's the next LAN party stories? Probably not going to be at the end of this month like I originally planned. Unless... But then, so that means hopefully sometime in February. That's when the next video is. Our next LAN we have not planned yet because we just landed back in, like, barely a month ago. So we've still got a few months till our next LAN for 2026, the planned one. You're back with dinner. Made a barbecue sandwich, toasted bread, barbecue sauce, thin cuts of chicken cooked in a pan. Nice. Just got the Logitech brown switch. Very sexy. I have a Logitech brown switch right here. And I grabbed this. I forgot which one is this. This is the K845. Because I wanted to weigh it. This thing is so heavy. My God. I wanted to weigh it against some of the other keyboards I had on hand. But this one... Can you guys hear the switches too? Because I do want to do a sound test on the Hall Effect one. So, what up, Cruiser? Hello, Nino. Benzerino, first-ish. No. Not even close to first-ish. But actually, no. You're part of the early gang, though. You're within the first couple of minutes. What up? Hello, in decline. Japanese curries. You just made a batch today from the box, golden curry boxes. That's all we ever do. We never like make the sauce from scratch. I'm eating curry chicken so good. Don always. What kind of curry though? I think I'm a fan of curry from every like cuisine and culture, I think. Like I've not met a curry that I did not like, whether it be like Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, Indian. Like I think I just like all kinds of curry. MySpace Head says, hello, Nerd. This is my first time catching you live. Awesome. Glad to have you here. We're here every single week at the same time, usually same day. And if I'm not, I usually give a heads up in like the Discord server or on a YouTube post. But glad to have you here. Potera Edit says, yo, can I get a shout out? My tech teacher shows your videos. No way. First of all, Potera Edits. Here's your shout out. But your tech teacher, you mean like in school? What grade are you in? Are we talking, or what level of, like, we're talking high school, middle school, elementary? Your tech teacher shows your videos? I kind of, like, that's very cool, but also, I find that kind of hard to believe because I'm not, like, the most technical slash, let's just say, school safe. There's videos of me naked blurred out from my LAN parties. So, you know, sometimes you might be scrolling through my video list and you catch a thumbnail of me naked blurred out. So, but awesome to hear that your tech teacher shows my videos. Kind of crazy to think about, actually. Though, I wonder how, like, people who have been watching me for 10 years... You know, people who were, like, at one point younger and still in school, but now they're, like, either student teachers or teachers that grew up watching my content. I I guess I could see it. Ant-Man, if I got called out for cheating in Monster Hunter, they can't prove what cheats I was using. Was I really cheating? Yes, if you were actually cheating. You can't prove a lot of cheating. The only thing that I think they can do is report, and then the devs or they look into the logs and stuff to see if anything weird was going on. But if you were cheating, you need to stop that. Cheating on online video games, especially games as inconsequential as Monster Hunter, where it's not even like really PvP based. What are you even doing? Do you have a message for my tech class? We watch you. My message is stay in school, kids. Do as best as you can. Listen to your teachers and your parents, so long as they are giving you good guidance and advice. Do the best you can and follow your dreams. Such generic advice. No, but seriously, if you guys are and gals are interested in whatever you want, just put the time and effort into it, and you can achieve it. If you want to make a YouTube channel, just start making videos. They might not be the best initially, but the only way you learn and grow is by persistence and repetition and practice. So yeah, I'm not saying to become a YouTuber because it is very difficult. But whatever it is you choose, just stick to it and work hard at it. I think we're getting to a time of people wanting instant gratification. You know, whether it be like getting rich quick, putting as minimal effort as possible, and getting the most returns. Kind of like that's why we see all these AI slop channels coming up, because people don't want to put in actual work. They just want to get that YouTube check. But all those are horrible reasons to get into doing whatever it is long term as a career. Choose to do what you love, and you never work another day in your life. So sorry for the generic advice. I was not expecting this question, and I didn't really have time to think of it. That's what came off the top. But thank you for watching, and teacher, thank you for showing my content. I appreciate it. Let's see. I have a red switch keyboard, says MySpace Head. Which keyboard? I've been using a custom keyboard since 2023. Previous before was a Razer or Nata Chroma. I don't know if I will ever get into the hobby of building keyboards. It's not that I'm not interested in it. It's just, I mean, I know you can do it for cheap, but time is like my lowest resource right now. Splitting my time between everything I do and family. I can't pick up another hobby. I just can't. So, but I know we probably have a few custom keyboard builders here in the chat. Yes, don't forget to check your keyboard settings. Set it to all chat, or I think it's called live chat. So YouTube defaults to top chat for some reason. Very annoying. I wish I could change that default for everybody, but you'll miss out on people's chat if you don't change it. Yeah. Yeah, I started using blue on blues as well. My coworker has super linear reds and the whole office can hear it. It wouldn't... Reds... I mean, I guess all mechanical keyboards are inherently somewhat loud unless you dampen it and, like, put O-rings and stuff. Do you have any pets? We have 0 pets. If we were to get a pet, it would probably be a cat, but my wife is deathly allergic to cats, so we cannot, unfortunately. We used to babysit my sister-in-law's cats, and my wife would have to take so much allergy medicine, and she would get itchy, and her nose would get stuffy, so unfortunately they don't come over anymore, especially with the girls. We don't even know if our girls are allergic to cats. They might be, so we will eventually probably introduce them. I still have a 20-plus-year-old vac ban on Steam. I haven't even heard of the phrase vac ban in the longest time, but our vac bans, do they never reverse those? And also, does that just prevent you from playing online? It doesn't affect like your offline play or like game. What do vac bans apply to all online games or just the games that use it? So you can still play other multiplayer games that maybe aren't as competitive and stuff. But man, vac ban. I have not heard someone say that in a long time. quicker I think Razer, when they eventually went away from the cherry switches, they came out with like the green, which is the blue replacement, wasn't it? My first keyboard was a Logitech and their Roamer G switches. Gosh, so sexy sounding. I love listening to mine, giving myself an ASMR. Back in December, so just last month, I picked up a 5080 at Micro Center for $10.90 out the door after tax. So glad I did now. I got my upgrade in just a nick of time. Yeah, for sure. I think prices are still okay right now, but once the cards are actually gone, I think the replenishing is going to slow down, and that's when we're going to see it. So, base tech teacher, for real, for real. Middle school. Oh, that's cool. Okay, good. Hopefully I said some good words of wisdom to the middle school aged folk. Would you try Indian curry eaten on the floor with hands? I mean, so long as the floor is not super dirty and eating with hands is fine. I have no problems with that. I don't think there's a bad curry unless it's sweet, lol. Okay. Oh my gosh. Chat is moving so fast. Okay, I gotta skip. Danny Gone Wild Land Party. Exactly, right? Our teacher loves your videos. That is awesome to hear. Let your teacher know that I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate, you know, people in the education field watching my stuff, and if they show my stuff to other people, because it gives me a little bit of sense of validation that I am helping educate in some sort of way, even though I feel like my content might be more entertainment than education. What up, Kenny D? Using a Keychron keyboard with Keychron brand brown switches. Also Fedora Linux. So about the Linux thing, so I've got a system ready to go. We're not going to do the installation here. We'll make the thumb drive as well as, we'll make the thumb drive and install it maybe next stream after we determine which distro during the second half of this stream, after we mess with the keyboard. Ant-Man, you say you're trying to cheat in Monster Hunter because you want to reach rank 999 so you can flex. Flexing your achievements that were achieved through cheating, that's gotta be, like, that's kind of sad, man. Come on. Like, think about it. What are you trying to flex? You're trying to flex something that you did not actually earn. And we've already got enough of that going on in the world. So, if you're not good, then there's no problem with that. I suck at video games. But to try to fake, like, you know, your achievements and your skill level to online strangers for what? Validation? Come on, man. Don't go chasing that. You don't need that. Either actually get good or just enjoy it for the sake of enjoying it. I only went custom specifically for easier repair. That is a good point. If a switch dies, pull it out and swap it. I don't know if this keyboard we're looking at. We'll look at the product page in a second. If it's like hot swap and all that stuff. But, oh crap. Where do I have my key switch puller? Where is that thing? I might have to go grab it in a second, but okay. We're about 20 minutes in. Let's get into unboxing this thing. Which land did I make Instant Pot pho? Did I make Instant Pot ever? I don't know if we've ever made it from the Instant Pot. Instant Pot is not big enough, but we made Instant Pho, which is different than Instant Pot pho because Instant Pot is the device. And which does not hold that much liquid to feed a whole LAN party. Instant Pho, I think that was like the 2019. The first LAN at my house and the first LAN ever actually in 2016, spring 2016. Those two we did the cheat pho is what I call it, where we use like a Boolean cube. But all right, Mint is a good starter distro, but Bazite if you're trying to do a gaming situation. What up, HDD77? Craig Lilly would love for me to choose Mint, I think, but we'll actually vote for it. But first, let's unbox this keyboard. All right, so first off, just to give you an idea of what keyboard this is from a company called MCHOSE. Have you guys heard of this company before? I did some quick research on them because I can't keep track of all the keyboard and peripheral companies out there. There's just way too many at this point. But I did find really good things said about MCHOSE. So even though I've never heard of it, that doesn't mean anything because I'm not primarily a keyboard person. But it looks like they're legit, and people say they make good quality stuff. But the keyboard that we're going to take a look at is this Ace 68 Turbo. So it's full aluminum, which is probably why it's so heavy, because it's not plastic. And eSports, okay, but Hall effect. So I don't know which specific switches and color I was sent. The rep just said, hey, you want to check out this keyboard? I said, for sure. Send it over and I'll check it out. So, I mean, look at these switches. Like, have y'all heard of these? Mount Tai, Gateron I've heard of, but Polaris, magnetic switch. It's not like the common switches that, I don't know, from yesteryear. I guess I'm not super caught up on keyboards. But some things about this. So this is only going to be a 65%, unfortunately, because you know I'm a 10 key person. The keycaps are, they match cherry profile, but the naming doesn't really give us much info as to like which equivalent it is. South facing RGBs, USB-C, wired, no wireless, which is for me kind of a important thing. I like to be able to disconnect my keyboard and go wireless if needed. So it's got some extra functions, performance, actuation, numbers, 8K, 16K, polling, like 0.06, 0.08, I'm guessing for the different, that's the latency for the different polling rates. The switches are, okay, this thing is over a kilogram, so over 2 pounds. Probably closer to like 3 pounds. I don't know the math. 2.2 times that. But okay, let's get to unboxing this thing. And the stem and stuff. You think that's what the key matching profile is? But why would it say color? Color matching cherry profile. Key matching to me makes sense, as in like you can fit it on the same like cross stems as cherries. But when it said color matching, which is what I thought it meant for the different color cherry colors, but you may be right. We'll take a look at it. Let me switch the camera down to here so we can see it unboxing. So I will move my keyboard out of the way while I do this. Actually, I need to get a better angle on this. Here we go. All right, so let's take a look. And I got a scale too. What? Oh, let me move this up a little bit. The camera is hitting its own base. I've got a scale just to see how much this thing weighs after we get the packaging and boxes off of it. He's turning into Walter White. This is just a kitchen scale, I swear. Okay, so here it is. Pretty simple box. I'm trying to look to see if it has the model number. Ace 68 Turbo GT. Okay, so this is the Mount Tai magnetic GT switch. It says right there. It's probably too small for you guys to see. Yeah, way too small. But let's get this unboxed. This is going to open from the side. It's not a clamshell. It's a box in a box. Oh, okay. Here we go. Wow, okay. So, which specific model do we have here, though? I'm trying to see if it says on here, like the color. The outside one said it was the GT switches, the Mount Tai ones, but I guess it does not say anywhere on here. But I'm going to drop this. Let me do that with like Not my keyboard, but I'll do it with this one. Is it gonna have the same impact? I mean, it shakes the camera no matter what. But this box, I feel like it's pretty heavy. Okay. So, I mean, this is kind of a premium. This keyboard, it's 140 bucks as we saw on this browser scene, right? So, like, it's not the most expensive thing in the world. But I feel like this is some pretty nice. Oh, it's got one of these magnetic flap right here. But, okay. So we got some cards and stuff. Trying to see here. Let me just take this out all the way. Oh, wait. Is this extra switches? Got like an accessories box. Hopefully this has like a keycap puller so I don't have to go pull my own. Nope. This is just a braided USB cable. Okay. Okay. And this thing is fully shrunk wrap. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this thing is pretty hefty. Like, even with the packaging gone. Let's see how much this thing weighs. Let me tear this real quick. Can you guys see the weight on here? It's going to be a little bit inaccurate because it's on a soft cushion, but it'll be close enough. So here, let me point this towards you guys a little bit. So let's take a look at the weight of this thing. Let me actually get the plastic wrap off because that might add to the weight a couple of grams. Let's get the actual accurate weight of this thing. Okay, we got it out. Let me show you the keyboard real quick first before we put it on the scale. Alright, so it does have a wheel right here as well as an extra button, but okay. Let's take a look at this weight. So 1217. This is 1217 grams. This Velocifier with this cable included is 976, and that's with the whole cable. This Logitech keyboard with its cable is, wow, this one's really light. 490. Yeah, let me do it again. Oh, what? Why is it so off? I think I had stuff blocking on the side. I have to reweigh that, apparently. Okay, 774. Let me put this one back on. I think I had some stuff over here. Oh, yeah, 1317. I had something underneath that was blocking the scale accidentally. You still have that Velocifier keyboard? That was their first video of yours I watched like 10 years ago. I do still have it. Yeah, I think I have almost all of the keyboards I've ever shown on the channel. So 1318 on here. Let's take a look at my Keychron K4. So this is the personal keyboard I use, which is a full 10 keyless. It's not full. It is considered like a 92%. But it does have a 10 key. All right. The tear is kind of bouncing around a bit, but not more than like 10 grams. And my keyboard is only like 730. So this is almost, for a keyboard that is noticeably smaller, is near double the weight. This is like 1.75 the weight or something like that. So, okay. So yeah, this is a chunky board, but, ooh, okay. Do we want to do, let's do a quick, let's give you guys a quick sound test of me just pressing around. All right. Ooh, is that too loud? Ooh. This is what people do, right? They go across the space bar to see if like the stabilizers are working correctly and to see if there's like unevenness. I mean, to me, I think this sounds like when people build custom keyboards, and again, this is with my pretty limited knowledge of custom keyboard building, but this sounds like what people try to achieve when they do stuff like fill it with foam, lube the key, the switches and stuff like that. Would you guys agree or disagree? Like, here, we'll give a, whoops, go back. We'll give a sound test comparison between these switches versus my keyboard, which, let me open up a window so I'm not just typing weirdness. Okay, so here's this one. And here's mine. Lube a keyboard? Yes, I know, right? Those are loud. They seem like you think these are cherry blues? Let me see. I mean, there's no like point of actuation, like distinct, you know, the point of actuation click portion of a blue. Any keyboard experts in the chat able to tell which key switches these are? What up, Joe P? Is the keyboard a 3/4 size? It's considered a 60%, 65%, which is 68 keys. Very clicky like a typewriter, so cherry blues. Sounds great. I might need to buy that. I looked, this one, they sell on Amazon, but these ones are not on Amazon for some reason. Did I remember to turn off mid-roll ads? I turned it down from medium to low. So let me know how that is today. It was on medium. There's low, medium, and high. Your keyboard sounds pingier for sure. Yeah, it's because I didn't lube my keyboard. Sound profile is similar to the switches I have on my keyboard, says Chert. Okay. It sounds like cherry gray. Okay, so let me plug this thing in and start typing with it. Actually, let's go over, is there anything, let me plug it in, see if we get the lighting to turn on. But I want to mess around with the volume wheel as well. Or the wheel. I don't know if you can bind it to other things, but let me get this thing plugged in. So I can show you guys. Oh, so the whole top is like a bar. I'm pretty sure there is a way to color it. Let me see. So there are there's different modes, RT1, RT2, RT3, that you can change it, which I need to look in the manual for what it is. But it does have this I think pretty cool looking bar at the top. Here's the key itself lit up. Okay, so give me 1 second. Where is... Read RTFM. Read the effing manual. Ooh, they gave us a letter. Let me see if there's anything useful in here that I can look up. Nope. This is... What the heck? This card is... There's no English on it at all. Oh, come on. Focus. Yeah, this whole card is not in English, so I guess I could. None of these instructions are in English. Was this meant for a different market? Not this one, like, I'm sure they have ones that are, you know, localized for different regions that it sells in. But the one that I got sent, did it come, like, straight from Asia? Anything else in here? Oh, we do have a keycap puller. Let's pull a keycap first. Let us pull a keycap. Now you're gonna be good at gaming. RGB is gaming steroids. I know, right? I need that. I need more RGB because I'm so bad at games. Is there no actual instructions? But let's pull a keycap. Let's pull this J. Wait up. This looks like a switch puller. Actually no, this is just like a metal. How do I get in here? Okay, yeah, what the heck? Is this not a keycap puller? Because it's not fitting in, and I don't want to scratch the keys. The keycap pullers I've used before were different than here. Give me 1 second. Let me... I got a whole box of them. Switch pull. Yeah, okay. The other side is for cat. Oh, you right. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. This part. Yeah. I was about to say, that was not fitting. There we go. I put in the wrong end. Exactly. You see, I have been so used to over the years, like, I'll show you my collection. I am so used to these cheaper plastic keycap pullers. Do I have any actual switch pullers in here? But yeah, I've accumulated so many of these for multiple keyboards over the years. I've actually not had a metal one on this side. I did have one that had this kind of like more wire version, but I can't find it. It is somewhere on some shelf. But okay, let's take a look. Let me get you a closer view. Let me get you a closer view of it. Is this just gonna work? Okay, and we're going in. So I'm assuming, let me grab just whatever cherry switch I have over here. I'm just gonna put a random keycap on. This should fit. Which direction was this supposed to be? Yeah, so it works with whatever. Now it sticks out like a sore thumb. Okay, let's get this out. Let's put this back in. All right, let me see. Is this? Yep, this controls my volume. Oh, it presses too. I'll give you a sound check on that. It's pretty pingy. But yeah, you have that changing the volume right there, which I always find nice. I wish this had it so I didn't have to go like function, you know, like F11, F12 on here. I like having like either a knob or like a roller on it. So needs more lube, of course. RGB looks hella bright. Now, is that LED really facing south, lol? That's a good question, Chris. They said it was south facing. Yeah, it is. I guess, how can I show, what's it called? How can I change the exposure? Well, actually, no, you can see it on here. So, well, it's on the south side. Is there a different distinguishing of south facing versus just being on the south, you know, side of the switch? Okay. So let me see if there's a manual on this. Let me see. Is there a manual? To see what the side buttons are. Dynamic light bar, advanced control, external RT button for 3 RT profiles. So that's the one that we have. These switches right here. South-facing LEDs, the bane of see-through caps made for north-facing lights. Oh, okay, here. RT. What does RT stand for, guys? It looks like it has to do with the travel. What up, Hazard Me? But what does RT stand for? RT for travel distance. Round trip. Acronym RT in travel distance usually means round trip, indicating the total distance. Is that correct? Response time, ray tracing. I would think response time. Well, no. Why would it be response time and then in distance? Right trigger. It can mean a number of things, but there are 3 different modes. Okay, let's take this to. Oh, sorry, you guys. How do we do this? I need to turn off the... Nope, you guys are just going to see my hands. We're going to do a monkey type real fast. Okay. So, I average anywhere from like 120-ish to 130 words per minute. I have not warmed up yet. So, let's see what I could do right now. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of errors. Sure. Okay, so my goodness, so many mistakes. Okay, we gotta do that over. This is the warm-up. This does not count. That does not count. That is the warm-up. Oh, okay, so here's my first thing. What's the function key? Okay. There's no F5 for me to refresh. So let me look at this quick reference. Function, I guess it's function, okay. So it's function 5 is the same, of course. That makes sense. But still, I would like a dedicated F5 so I don't have to do function. But, okay, let's try this again. Oops. Oh my. Every time I mess up, it's like tripping while running. I have to like get back up to speed. Okay, but that time I got 126. So I'm curious. I'm going to switch it to the RT2 mode. So on here, there's these different modes. I'm going to switch it to the next one and we'll see if it feels any different. If at least I can even tell. Function 5. Okay. Oh my god. Wait. Am I messing up because this keyboard is like too fast for me? Like, okay. I'm gonna test something real fast. I'm trying to like barely press it and see if it like when it detects it. Oh my god. I barely, here, let me try my keyboard. Yeah. So this is activating way closer to the top, which might be something I need to get used to. Like, I don't know how I can show it better, but like, yeah. Which, I mean, I think is the point, right? For gaming, you want it to be super, like, super quick. You need to lube your fingers. Okay, let's see if I can get a good run with very little errors with, like, this, this keyboard. Okay. Yeah, nope. Oh my goodness. And I don't want to put blame on the keyboard. I think is just something that, like, I need to get used to. Let me try the third one then. I'm going to try the third setting on here and see if that changes anything. Oh man, yeah. Okay, here's the test though. Here's the real test. I'm gonna go back to my keyboard and see if I can do a better job. Maybe I just have a stage fright right now because you guys are watching. But I'm back on my keyboard. We're gonna try this one, and we'll see if I can do better with the keyboard that I'm used to. Oh. Yeah, so so that wasn't a perfect run. I think I skipped or messed up on one of the words, but that was like pretty noticeably easier for me. Okay, let me go back one more time. All right, later, Potera. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. We're gonna try one more time with the MCHOSE, because I want to believe that, like, it shouldn't have that much of a difference. I'm gonna go back to RT1, the default mode that it came on, and we'll come on, no mistakes. Oh my god. Okay. I can't. I am too slow for this keyboard, it seems. You could set presets for gaming and desktop use. Yeah, okay. Is there any... Let's do a reaction. Let's see, keyboard reaction test. So we've got this key press reaction timer, okay? Wait. Keyboard latency test. Key press history. Okay, wait. Here, let me zoom in for you guys. So that was, these, like, 30-ish was the MCHOSE, and here's my Keychron. Nope, it seems kind of random all over the place, so I need a reaction time test. Here we go. Wait, does this work with keyboard or is it only mouse? Okay, 218 milliseconds. Let's do a couple of them. 216. 204. 202. This is all MCHOSE. 190. What? Am I getting faster? 181. It's going down each time. Maybe it's because I don't do this often, so I'm getting, like, warmed up, essentially. 183. Let's see where I bottom out at. Oh, whoops. I just missed it. Uh-oh. That didn't count. $149. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna get any accurate. Okay, I need to stop talking. I don't know if we're gonna get super accurate results, but let's try my keyboard on this. Okay, see if I can get into like the 180s. Am I gonna be consistently slower on my keyboard? No, I got 196 right there. Oh my god, I need to stop talking. I need to only talk. Oh, I jumped the gun. Oh my goodness. I think I'm getting too distracted. How can you ever do these tests accurately? I feel like every time I do good or bad, it's an outlier result. I'm constantly inconsistent. Yeah. For real, I suck at spelling accuracy. I need AI and Grammarly. You probably won't tell the difference between the MCHOSE and Keychron when it comes to these speed tests. Yeah, I'm not thinking so, but let me see if I can even get one in like the low 180. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty consistently like 200 or higher. Now here's MCHOSE. Oh. Yeah, it's... If anything, it's like maybe barely faster. How are we doing on time? Okay, that was about like 30 minutes worth. But yeah, I mean, overall, I would say that this definitely feels like a premium, much more premium keyboard than anything I've ever used. So I have held a handful of, you know, metal keyboards, custom built keyboards, the ones that have that little cool shiny reflective mirror on the back that people love doing. I would say, based off of my noob knowledge, that this doesn't feel too far off from those. I mean, of course, those you can use whatever switches you want. There's like a bajillion switches out there and keycaps and stuff like that. But, and by the way, guys, this isn't sponsored. This is just me legitimately checking this out for the first time. They're not paying me. They sent this over, but I have no obligations to say nice things about their keyboard. This is more of a fun thing to do on stream to actually check out a new product. As well as, you know, like this is my first time using Hall Effect, which, I mean, I don't want to load up a game right now, but I will keep using this, especially on my test bench, to see if I can get more acquainted with it. But, at the price, 100. I wonder if the 10 key would cost more. But $140 for a keyboard that feels pretty similar to like those $300 to $400 custom built keyboards that I have, you know, held and messed around with before, that my friends have. That actually doesn't seem that bad. I actually reached out to them and said, "Do you guys have like a 10 key version?" Because like, as much as it would be awesome to check out, you know, my first Hall Effect keyboard ever. I would never daily drive a 10 keyless. It's just, I need the 10 key as well as all the extra keys too much. But I don't know. I guess based on, you guys can't hold this and feel the quality of this. Does this show you how sturdy it is? But just based on like, the overall aesthetics and the, you know, based on the weight at least, and you know, the features such as the different modes as well as like the volume wheel and stuff. What are your thoughts on a keyboard that's like that's under $200 but is more premium feeling? Like, what keyboards are you guys using and how much did you spend on it? Because for me, like, my main daily driver is this Keychron, which I think nowadays goes for like 70 to 80 bucks. But I like this one because it's wireless. So I can use this wireless, and it does have multiple modes for like Mac OS and stuff like that, but I don't care too much about that. But my big thing is it's a compact, you know, 90 or 92%, where there's no wasted space on this keyboard, right? Like, everywhere you look on the profile, there's a key. It's not like your typical full 104 where you got all this wasted space of like nothingness here, right? All the gaps in between. So even though this is a pretty compact 104, it doesn't have a ton in terms of like the bezels and stuff. I like smaller profiles, but not at the expense of the 10 key. Key thick, yeah. Yes, other than maybe traveling keyboard, I will be staying on a 100% keyboard. I use a $30 Logitech K400 Plus wireless keyboard with touchpad to navigate Windows. Since I game on your TV, okay, that makes sense. With the controller, my G513 was over 100 on sale. G513. Which one is that? Oh, okay. That looks very similar to the one that I'm using, actually. Or not the one I'm using, but the one that I have, except mine's not RGB. It looks the exact same thing. What are your thoughts on split space bars? I don't know. I don't think I would be bothered by split space bars. I don't think, anyways. Can you make any keyboard a split space bar, or do you have to have the certain stems for it? Let's take a look at this one. How can I pull this space bar off without completely messing this up? So like for this keyboard, right? This couldn't, oops, what the heck? This can't be a split space bar, right? Because wouldn't it need another stem or whatever switch? Or it would need like 2 dedicated switches. But since there's only one in the middle, you can't make this one a split, I guess. I drive a $60 used wired SteelSeries 10 keyboard with RGB keys. So $60. Who thinks they have the most expensive keyboard in the chat right now? Let's let people flex for a second. Who thinks they have the most premium / expensive, most money spent in their keyboard right now? Apparently I can't drink water. I'm using a Keychron H2HE 130 USD, also wireless, but I keep it wired. I do keep mine wired. It's just the convenience of being able to pull it if I do need it is what I like about it. But yeah, mine like 90% of the time stays wired. 75% Hall effect keyboard with shine through cherry profile. Okay. Keychron's a good brand, so the difference between quality between Keychron and your new MCHOSE won't be that difference. The difference for this one, for the most part, is weight. And I mean, do people like a heavier keyboard? I don't know if I'm ever doing that intensive typing or gaming that my keyboard is shifting around, that like a typical weight keyboard would not be sufficient. But this does have a lot of heft to it. For traveling, this might be annoying because it would make your your backpack or whatever suitcase heavier. But just holding it in your hand, it's like, oh my god, this feels like a gold bar, you know? We are gonna get into choosing Linux tonight, but we're not gonna create the installer thumb drive and installing it till next stream because I feel like that might actually take more time. So I didn't want to like have to end it early tonight. So, but we're gonna choose which distro tonight. Mine's a Rainy 75 hot swapple, all weight, all aluminum, 1.8. Okay, so yeah, yours is even heavier than this MCHOSE. My main daily keyboard is 75% aluminum, costs under 100. Game computer is a Mad Lion, 60% Hall effect. I use Apex 3, 100%. Got it on sale 5 years ago at Best Buy. I think I paid 100. Okay, still works and loves it. I used the K65 Corsair, paid 65 used. I think I have one of those somewhere on the shelf that I also bought from the refurbished. If this is the same keyboard. Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of... Wait. I'm thinking of the one, the version with the 10 key. Maybe it's not the 1065 then. Okay. Hey, what's up, computer guy? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. You know, we're only 3 weeks into 2026. But hopefully... Well, wow, we're actually closing in on 1 month. Heavy Metal Tech. Use template. Oh, Tempo OS. Best OS ever. Thank you for the super chat. As always, Heavy Metal. I will pull that up, but I'm not sure if people are going to vote for that. That's not one of the ones that usually pops up as the top used ones when I look into different OSs. I got a secondhand Keychron, same as yours, Nope. Nice! Man, secondhand, these ones go for even cheaper. Like, I think I've seen them for like $50, which is crazy. You need a keyboard that supports the split. Okay, got it. Mine was 200-ish to assemble. I think I spent $200 on the back in 2019, 2020, but don't use it anymore. I have a SteelSeries RGB for $90. I'm using a $5 Dell keyboard. I think I got one of those back there too. But I have not typed on a membrane keyboard in my personal. I have in like the office and stuff, but on a personal like use case, yeah, I haven't typed on membrane for like 15, 16 years now since I got my first mechanical. Once you go mechanical, I don't think you ever go back. I plan to buy a Wooting. Is it Wootin or Wooting? But yeah, I've heard of the Wootin. My keyboard is solid. It's heavy. Those cheap sub $20 keyboards. G19 915 TKO. Those are okay. So I actually have the 10 key version of this. Melissa's actually using it. She uses that for her home office setup. But I did a collab with Slick Deals like years ago, and we like checked out this and the other Logitech keyboard. But okay, so do we not have any super keyboard enthusiasts with like $500 keyboards in the chat? Are we all pretty budget minded and budget oriented here? Got it over a year ago. I have two other standby keyboards. I don't feel like opening the cabinet to see about. My keyboard is $180 on Best Buy. Paid $219. Danny, look at the Yunzi AL98. AL98. Let's take a look at this thing. With cocoa cream linears. I paid $72 on December deal coupons. Weighs 4.8 pounds. Is that right? Why is that? Actually, no, I can believe it because it's a 10 key keyboard and this one's already like 3 pounds. Okay. Dang. Almost 5 pounds though. Holy crap. What? Full aluminum, heavy as hell, which I know weight is not an indicator of quality, but sometimes it is. You know who says that normally, Project Farm. But $80? But this one just seems to be... It's not like Hall effect or magnetic or anything special, so that's probably why it's not expensive up to yin yang. Peripherals on a budget, yeah. If you want a cheap TKL, a Keychron C3 Pro is solid for $30-40. Is that the normal price? You said C3 Pro. For $30-40. It looks like I'm seeing around 50, but I'm sure you can get it open box for maybe a little bit more. Oh, wait. Nope, that's not it. What is this? But the C3 Pro... Here's a C3 Pro. Yeah, I'm sure you can get it for a little bit cheaper if you buy secondhand. Looks like the price for it increased. I mean, tariffs and just inflation in general, unfortunately. You need that weight. Is that what gets the thock? The weight of the base itself? What makes the thock? I know people have put like glue and some like silicone fillers and stuff in their keyboards. Like how thocky would we say this keyboard is on a level of 0 to 10 thock? Oops, was that too loud? Did I put it too close to the keyboard? Yeah, I think it's clipping. Fill it with epoxy. You would say this is only a level of 2 thock? Oh man. I mean, I thought this was kind of thocky because relative to my keyboard, like listen to the two. Like here's mine, and this is the MCHOSE. So relative to, if this is zero thock, then mine must be like negative thock. Gasket, sound dampening material, that kind of stuff. Sorbothane is popular but expensive. What does the thock say? Maximum level 2 thock. The sound is different if it's plastic or aluminum in conjunction to the foam and other layers. Yeah. Check out some review videos on it. The keys and build quality make it thock. It's built in the layers. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of thockier ones. Though I think here, let's use this mic. This one might give more thock levels. Did that affect the thock level at all? Uh-oh. Did I not mute my... Did it just double up? I was supposed to mute my wireless mic, but it didn't mute. We need Mancard to chime in. He's the keyboard connoisseur. Jan, where are you? Where there's a lack of thock, there's thack. Is it thack and thock? What up, Tony? 6 out of 10. It sounded similar but quieter than mine. What up, Tech Grant? We're talking about thocky keyboards and expensive keyboards right now. Were Red Dragon keyboards ever a good budget keyboard? I always thought so. My first keyboard ever review was a Red Dragon. And I stopped doing keyboard reviews because I just kind of like lost interest in them. But whatever I did, it was still very basic because I mean, look at this. This was back in July 2016. So when I made this video, I think around these years, 2015, maybe 2014, 2016, like cheap mechanical keyboards started becoming readily available, because prior to this, you got your mechanical keyboards from all the major brands like Razer, Corsair, and all that stuff that were in the hundreds of dollars. But then I feel like Red Dragon was one of the earlier to market, like sub $50 keyboards. And we're not going to watch this video, yeah, like I used to do keyboard reviews in like the first year or two of the channel, and then I eventually stopped. But Red Dragon over the years have increased the quality of their keyboards. I don't know what they have these days, but I think they do have more high-end, quote-unquote, premium stuff. I don't know if they have... So, oh my god, you can get a mechanical Red Dragon keyboard with 10 key for $25. For like a first keyboard ever, or for someone on an ultra budget working with like a $300 budget build, how could you beat this? Oh man, where do they not have? Where's the higher end stuff? Okay, they got stuff 60. Do they have anything like in the $100 range? Not that, you know, being over $100 automatically makes it more premium. They do have stuff with more features. Man, I haven't used these in years, but look at this one. This one has the screen with a battery indicator in it, the time, which, like, you know, num lock, cap locks you have enabled with a volume knob. Jade Cloud color, linear switches that are custom. Yeah, it's a 95 key. It's wireless. I mean, to get it down at a price like this, it's probably all plastic construction, thinner plastic, etc. But still, but they don't have anything interesting. I wonder if just like it's not worth it for them to try to pursue the more enthusiast market with more expensive like full metal. Look, this one looks like pretty, you know, not bad, I guess. Oh, I'm still doubled? My goodness. Thanks, thanks, Chris. How bad is the double sounding, by the way? Is there a plugin for OBS that if it detects two of similar enough sound sources, it either combines them perfectly or cancels one? because hopefully that double was not as annoying for everyone else. Didn't sound too bad. Okay, got it. Any mech is still better than membrane. Yeah, I would think so. Five Below sells mechanical keyboards. What is Five Below? Five Below. What is this? El Lamau. I bought that keyboard for my buddy's beta a year ago based off your reviews. Oh, a long time ago. I think for the time, I think a lot of people ended up reviewing that because it was one of the earlier cheap keyboards. And for $40 at the time, there wasn't like a ton of $25, $30, $40 keyboards. There was that and like 3 others. So at the time, I think that was probably, a pretty decent purchase. Washington might not have Five Belows. Five Below is like a dollar store, but $5 instead of $1. Okay, we have, what do we have? We have Dollar Tree. I don't know if we have anything that's specifically like, can I look at the stores? Does everyone have Dollar Tree? Or is this like regional? Like, because we don't have the 8 cents or 97. What's the one in California? 98-cent store, right? Like, does every state or region have their own version of the dollar store and it's called different things? We have yeah, I've heard of Dollar General, yes. Do we have a Dollar General? Let me see. What's the nearest Dollar General? Oh, we don't. So it looks like Dollar Tree is our equivalent. Yeah, Dollar General does not come up when I look on our map. 99-cent store. I got Five Below and Dollar Tree in California. Five Below. But you just said they have... Of course I don't know what Five Below is, because let's take a look at... Where is the nearest Five Below? Wait, what? I don't think this is the same thing. Wait, do we have Five Below? No, this must be new. Teen-oriented chain for... Oh, wait. Teen-oriented chain for a large assortment of games. Where is this one? Is this where the Dollar Tree used to be? How old is this? This must be new. Let me look at the reviews. Reviews. When did this oldest review? Okay, we'll go to newest and we'll go back. Yeah, this must be new because when I scroll through this, 2 months ago only. What's the oldest review? Okay, so we just apparently got Five Below in our area at least. I don't know if in the whole state. The oldest review here is 2 months, and this one, oldest. So we go to newest and then we scroll all the way to the bottom. Five Below. Yeah, 2 months ago also. So we do have Five Below apparently around me. And where are the two? Oh, wow. The two are very nearby to me. The two are like within 15-ish minutes. So I guess I got to go check them out. We have Five Below, I think, but I've never been. Yeah, inflation makes $5 not profitable when there'll be something to replace it. They're everywhere now. We have Dollar Zone in Alaska. Danny, when's the last time you went out? I just went to Costco yesterday. But, I mean, come on. 2 months ago, and it's in, like, kind of weird, obscure places. For me to not know about the Five Belows that just opened up 2 months ago, it's pretty normal. That is indeed Five Below. Okay, that is it. Apparently, I gotta go check it out now. Maybe there's a fun video involved. Did I just Google Maps? I did. Well, I did. How did I type in the search bar, or did I do it in the address bar? I did it in what here? If I do it, because we're on Firefox. Yeah, so I did it in the address bar right here. But when you do that, like when you type that, it takes you to Google first because the default browser on my Firefox is Google. Why you gotta call me out on that? Okay. But they generally have stuff that's more than $10. It's basically stuff that Chinese garbage made to break. Okay. Our mechanical keyboards. Oh, man. Mechanical keyboards. Let me see if they are a thing. I totally forgot that even existed. When I type in mechanical, it doesn't. It wants to correct me, and none of the top searches are bringing up mechanical keyboards. Which, for people who don't know, it's supposed to be a hybrid membrane / mechanical. I don't recall how they get the mechanical aspect of it. It might just be like a fake clicky switch, but it still activates via membrane. But let's see, mechanical keyboard. Mechanical. Do I need a... Is this a thing that's just like... No, stop. No. Stop fixing it for me. I'm trying to find a specific product. Mechanical. Do a 5 Below gamer gear video. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my sticky notes. Where are they? Okay, here. Oh no, go back. 5 Below gaming gear video. I'm not saying I'm gonna do that anytime soon, but that'll be on the back burner along with a million other things. The best thing about 5 Below is the candy. Well, that's what I treat the dollar store for. Dollar store has a good selection of like chips, candy, drinks, and stuff. So, is 5 Below even better in the snack section with regards to that? Well, if you ever need phone chargers and random cheap tech, that's the spot. I don't know, man. I feel like with phone chargers these days, especially if you want fast charging and if you want your cables to last a long time, I think like when I buy charging cables now, I don't just buy the cheapest thing on Amazon. I actually like look through the different companies because there's a bunch of random branded ones. Not to say that those aren't good, but I definitely look through the reviews and try to find videos and Reddit posts and stuff because I've had too many cheap cables die on me or aren't the actual rated like charging, like the watts, right? The power delivery. So I've gotten a little bit picky about my USB-C cables, especially since I have a phone that could use fast charging. So I don't know if I would trust Dollar Tree or 5 Below cables for some reason. I don't know if they'll pass the longevity test. This weekend will be 10 below 0. Man, our cars were frozen over this morning, so we are definitely in probably the coldest part of the winter coming up here. What do you think of my recent pickup? $75 for a 660 and $60 for a 2060. Both amazing pickups. A little bit better of a pickup on the 6600 because for $75, the RX 6600 are still, I think, like well valued a little bit above like $120, $130-ish dollars. So that's a good pickup. But yeah, so I did click up here to say mechanical. I can't find any mechanical. Let me see if I search. Nope. Yep. It's only right there. Mechanical keyboards is a thing that doesn't exist anymore, apparently. Dang, I kind of wish I had one now, just as a relic. No. They were known as mechanical, but let me see. Membrane mechanical keyboard. Let's see if this comes up. Membrane mechanical. Membrane wired. Yeah, see? I'm not seeing anything. No, mecha membrane. Is this it? Quiet membrane. Mecha membrane. I don't recall seeing it called that. Mecha membrane switches. Here we go. Fusing the snappy, clicky feedback of a mechanical switch with the familiar feel of a conventional keyboard. Did anyone ever miss the familiar feel of a membrane keyboard? Each keystroke is as satisfying as it is precise. That's an interesting way to try to make it seem fancy, especially for a $70 keyboard when you could have full mechanical for even cheaper. I guess. Okay, what am I missing? I feel like I've been out of the keyboard game for a really, really long time, but were there any benefits of membrane over mechanical, like at all? Like, do they last longer? Like, more, you know, more actuation cycles? Do they last longer in that regard? Are they like waterproof? Like, why would you, if you can get it for cheaper, why would you spend more on something that just isn't fully mechanical? Oh, membrane is quieter, but I'm trying to think. What is the quietest mechanical keyboard? What is the quietest silent? Or is that like an oxymoron? Is there no true silent mechanical keyboard? Quiet mechanical keyboard? Oh my god. It's quieter, also cheaper during the time when mechanical switches started to become popular. So the cheaper thing, I mean, yeah, the most bottom line membrane keyboard will be cheap, but like you can get them for $5-10, which I don't think many mechanicals go that cheap unless it's like Prime Day. But aside from the price, and yeah, I guess I forgot about the quiet thing, especially if you work in like an office. Let me look something up. Silent. What is the quietest mechanical keyboard? This keyboard is silent.
So in this box is one that's finally quiet. Oh, it also looks pretty clean. I'll show you how it sounds in a second, but this is the Eppomaker RT100. It might look like a normal keyboard.
RT. See, there's RT again. Dude, do we think it stands for response time?
If you look at the accessories, wait, is that a mini TV? What? Yep, that's a screen.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
This is a custom keyboard, so you can actually remove the keycaps and the switches. Like, too loud.
So there are like complete silent mechanical keyboards, but I'm pretty sure this thing is not going to be like cheap. I would imagine, is there, do we have the product? Eppomaker, what is it? Eppomaker RT1, Eppomaker RT, was it the 100? Yep, okay, that looks like it. Not $100. Not crazy expensive. Considering it comes with the cool screen thingy and it's, you know, mechanical, with what looks to be like a knob, but it's definitely not as cheap as membranes. I think, yeah, that keyboard is relatively cheap. Yeah, you'll hear rapid trigger and snap tap when it comes to Hall effect. Okay, range trigger, rapid trigger. Got it. There it is. We figured it out, folks. Thank you. Please don't bring clicky keyboards to work. Life is hard enough. Yeah. Also, membrane used to advertise that they were water resistant. I feel like mechanical keyboards are pretty waterproof / resistant. I have a video. Let me see. Where I poured water straight up on one of the mechanical keyboards I reviewed. Keyboard. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, see? Oh, here it is. $30 to $35. Where's the water section? I had Melissa pour water. Oh, there it is. I mean, it affected it, but it didn't ruin the keyboard. And I mean, for the most part, keyboards, at least the non-expensive ones, maybe these newer ones have like more, you know, um, the like the internals, as long as you don't have like capacitors and stuff like that. And I guess you might be worried about corrosion on any of like the metal parts or contacts if you don't properly dry it. But other than that, like I don't know, would a membrane keyboard be any more waterproof / resistant than like that? G-Fob days, pre-Wob, exactly. Yes, Linux. We need to get to that. Oh my god, we are an hour and a half into stream. All right, yes. Keyboard talk over. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk about keyboards. Okay, guys. This is what we got to do. You see right there? See? I have been thinking about it. I pulled aside the system just to make sure there's no problems and it's ready to go, and I booted it up. If you guys can tell, does anyone know what PC or what that is sitting right there? It was on the channel in the last at some point in the last 3 years. But like I said, near the end of last year, we are going to document my first experience with Linux on stream. So I have not personally played around with any of the different Linux distros out there. Mostly, honestly, out of like the lack of time. But this is like the perfect platform for it because it seems like there are a lot of enthusiasts in you guys out there. And someone at some point last year suggested do it on stream. So I said, okay, I think that would be a fun thing because you guys are going to see in real time what someone who I would feel like I'm pretty comfortable with at least computer hardware and know my way at least can solve things. But there is a reason why most people have not switched over to Linux and are still sticking with Windows, right? So I think it'd be cool to take someone like me who is at least comfortable with hardware and troubleshooting and solving things by Googling. Let's see if I run into any weirdness or annoyances with Linux where I'm like, okay, if I'm this annoyed at it, how do you think the average person who's not even into like PCs and stuff, who just want their computer to work, what are their thoughts going to be on it, right? So we're going to do the whole thing. We're going to like create, to whichever distro we choose, we're going to go and create the bootable installer. We're going to install it all on stream, but we got to pick with distro first. So throw out what distros you guys would like to see, and I'm going to go look up what are the most popular Linux distros, and we're going to try to we'll vote with the poll on the YouTube chat after we down select to 4 of them because that's the max that YouTube allows. Okay, is this correct? When was this posted? 6 years ago? Okay, this might not be up to date. Let me look at 2025 data if we can pull some up. Mint or Bazite? I'm not surprised by that. Bazite, I was expecting people to say that just because it is more like what, gaming focused, right? Bazite or Pop OS, says Chris. Are you dual booting it? Should I? I was just planning on not dual booting it, but would there be a good reason where I should? Which, I mean, I guess that's not a big deal. Or I can also just have 2 different SSDs in the system and choose between the 2. But for the purposes of what we're gonna just like messing around with it in stream, is there any reason to, I guess? Mint, Bazite, Ubuntu, and Arch. Which my latest YouTube shorts, the person I was interviewing mentioned that he was using Arch. And people were giving him crap for it in the comments. Fedora, Catchy, Mint, Pop OS, no dual boot. Fedora, I want to learn Ubuntu for my home server. I wouldn't dual boot. Dual booting is god tier. But for the purposes of just dicking around and learning it, like, I already have one main system that I got Windows on. Like, why would I want to dual boot it, I guess, specifically for the purposes of learning? If it was my only system, then yeah, Like, I would imagine a lot of people at home with only one computer, if you wanted to learn it, you kind of have to do a boot if you don't want to fully give up on Windows. But, okay, Bazite. Bazite is definitely, you guys are mentioning a lot. Best Linux distro 2026. This is the linuxblog.io. Is this a reputable website / source? Okay, let's see what they have to say. As you guys, I like Ubuntu. Okay, so Ubuntu, which also I hear people pronounce it as Ubuntu as well as Ubuntu, even though there's no N in it. What is the correct pronunciation of it? Mint. We got Craig Lilly. Oh, Slackware only if you want to see Danny pull out his hair. I mean, look, I think Craig Lilly, you've had this symbol or this little profile picture for the longest time. I don't know if I've ever remembered you with anything else. So I think I know what Craig's answer was going to be. Mint is easier for novice. Fedora 43 KDE offers latest. I mean, I think we're going for the novice route, right? I'm definitely not a power user or expert, and I don't know if I ever intend to be. Think of it as, what would you recommend to someone who is starting out? You wouldn't throw them in the deep end, right? Ubuntu, not Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Is that what like the official creator of it has called it? Even though sometimes we ignore that rule, like with GIFs and GIFs. I think Linus went with Pop! OS, and didn't Linus do different ones? Let's see what Zorin. So Ubuntu right here. Okay, Ubuntu and Pop! OS when it comes to the beginner ones. Mint. Oh, we got 3 of them here. Elementary OS. So here's 3 of the ones that you guys have been mentioning in the chat so far already. So like, would it be these 3 and Bazite? Try the different distros using a virtual machine before making a choice. I mean, I've got so many of those SSDs that Chris sent me that we can do it not on a virtual machine. Yeah, we could just install them and just choose different drives to boot off of. But I feel like I don't want to like, especially on stream, doing it for the stream. I want to just choose one and use it for a while. And do you guys think this is kind of a problem with the fact that there's so many distros out there? Like there's almost like a paralysis by choice problem, right? Like, how do people know which one to choose, especially if they're not a type of user who will or can run a virtual machine or can run multiple with different machines at the same time, right? For most people, they got one computer and what they install on it is what they're going to use. And you could say, well, if you don't like it, change it. Well, okay, now I got to like, wipe it and install and start over. Like, for non-power users and people who don't have multiple machines or like virtual like capabilities, that is kind of annoying to tell someone to, just keep on reinstalling or, wiping it and reinstalling different distros until you find one you like. Like, how much of a difference between all these is there really? Bazite is really easy and it's difficult to mess things up too much. How long has Bazite been around? Bazite was officially released in 2023, starting as a custom Fedora 38 image. When did it get popular? Because I feel like I didn't start hearing everybody and their moms talk about Bazite until like the last year and a half or so. Like, was there like a major milestone patch or update that made it like, I don't know, either more accessible or way better? I don't recall people being as enthusiastic about Bazite in 2023 as I have been in the last, or have I been hearing in the last year or so. Trust me, if people have problems using Windows, they have problems using Linux. User error is real. I can believe that. Bedside is basically a Steam Deck OS. Wait, Mike Novelli, which keyboard? Are you talking about the one I'm currently using right now? Or are you talking about something else? Are you late to the stream? The keyboard I'm using, I put in the description. It is the Ace 68 Turbo from MCHOSE. And we checked it out earlier in the stream. Overwhelming burden of choice, lol. I just do Mint for basic use or Ubuntu server for headless machines. You can run Windows programs on Linux, even Adobe Premiere, using Winboat. Okay, we will definitely have to do that. Because I think that's one of the things that a lot of people, like compatibility-wise, for people not switching over. LAN party, when's the video dropping? Probably not going to be in January, because it's barely been a month since we had the LAN party. I have not even looked at the footage yet. But once I start looking at it, it should get rolling pretty fast. I cannot do Linux. I have too many Windows-only programs I need, says JT Bibbins. I mean, I think a lot of people are in that boat. Plus, familiarity, right? It's just like, if Windows works well enough, then if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Not everybody has all the free time in the world to like try out all the different distros and dick around and stuff. Like, some people just need their thing to just be reliable and work. And as much as Windows, people complain about privacy issues and all these other, weird bugs and things, annoyances with it, most of us are using it for our day-to-days, for the most part, just fine. So, Pop OS went under development for a couple years. They just released their new desktop. It used to be amazing, but a lot of other distros have caught up. Okay. Bazai is built on Fedora 43 KDE, but is immutable, meaning you cannot alter the core system and has limitations. I recommend Linux Mint for someone's first time. Very Windows-like. Okay. So, I mean, these three and Bazite for the poll is what I'm thinking. Let me clear this and let me zoom in more. Right? These three. Numbers 2, 3, and 4. I mean, I saw people mentioning other ones, but let's see. Best one for experienced users. So you got Fedora, Debian, OpenSUSE, Solus, Catchy. So people did mention Fedora and Catchy, but I mean, I would rather go in for a beginner experience because that is exactly what I am. And then best ones for experts. We got Arch, Gentoo, Slackware, which someone said it would be like me pulling my hair out. Void and Kali. Okay, bonus for unique ones. We got Bedrock, Alpine, Calculate, Crux. Okay. Okay, so there's even more that's not even included in these lists. But for the one that we're going to go through, install on stream starting next week, unless some crazy news comes out and we have to delay it, I'm thinking I'm going to pull these in Bazite and then you guys vote. Unless someone could come out of left field with something that has not been mentioned yet. Okay. And then Bazite. Where is Steam OS? Okay, we're not gonna do Steam OS. Number 1, is there a reason? Wait, what? And Zorin OS is a no-brainer. Is there? Oh, number 1 is there for a reason. Zorin. And is a no-brainer. How come nobody had mentioned Zorin, though, in the chat? Or if they did, I missed it. And it definitely was not as common of an answer. So what I said from the beginning, Bazite or Mint, lol. Ubuntu for a server for headless is based. And you should be good since you have an Intel GPU. No. The system, the graphics card I was going to do is an RX 580. So it's not going to be my own personal hardware. I mean, it is my hardware, but it's not my personal system hardware. And I'm not going to use the Intel Arc cards for it. I'm going to make this like straight up budget build city, right? Did you guys catch what that's the Think Center, what is it? or ThinkStation, not ThinkCenter, the ThinkStation P520 sitting back there with the Xeon W something something, I forget. But with with an RX 580, we're gonna go with super budget hardware on this one. So AMD, yes, AMD GPU apparently does make it easy, which is not the reason I chose it. I just chose the RX 580 because it was a, pretty budget GPU I had sitting on the shelf that I don't think I'm gonna have use for anytime soon. So I was like, just slap it in. I actually have multiple RX 580s. It's one of the most common graphics cards I have on hand. So I thought that plus the fact that AMD plays well with Linux, I figured why not use that. Arch is great if you want to get deep. Mint if you want to be Windows-like. Bazzite if you want Steam mostly catchy. I mean, it sounds like Mint would be the window, but do we want it to be like a Windows experience, or do we want to kind of stray away from that, at least UI-wise? I love P520s. Zorin OS has over 2 million downloads since December. Do we have any other Zorin OS stands or fans in the house, though? Zorin has a free and paid for version. An elderly person I know paid for multiple times. Okay. Any other people vouching for Zorin? So which one do we knock off the list? Zorin is not bad either, but has a GNOME base like Ubuntu and many fight GNOME desktop environment. I mean, is Zorin and Ubuntu, do they look and feel kind of similar then? Are they kind of like overlapping enough where we should only have one of the two on the list of choices? I just ordered the 5070 Founders Edition for $550. Hope it's a noticeable upgrade. It should be to your 2080. Did you buy that from the official NVIDIA site? I saw that they were available. I really want to pull the trigger on it, but I don't need it right now. So I think I might wait till I can find one secondhand. But man, those Founder Edition cards look so nice, and they fit in so many small form factor builds. I was tempted. I would vote for Zorin. Zorin is beginner distro, very easy to customize. I don't use it. I like catchy. Okay. Zorin is Windows-like. Okay. So, if we had to choose, because we're going to vote on this, do we not include Pop OS then? So, Zorin, Ubuntu, Mint, and Bazzite? Uh-oh. Why did this just... Oh, wait. No. We're good. Zorin Lite don't use GNOME. It uses XFCE. I don't even know what that means. I'd start with Zorin just because it's a beginner distro doesn't mean it's bad. Oh yeah, we want it specifically to be a beginner distro. Currently in school for computer systems admin, we use Ubuntu, Debian, OpenSUSE, and Proxmox. Goes along with Ubuntu nicely. They 550 was the MSRP. Oh, they've been RTX 5070s, I think have been MSRP for at least like the last few months, if not a little bit longer. A Windows-like feel helps adapt to Linux easier. So, okay. So I removed Pop OS. So we got Ubuntu, Mint, Zorin, and Bazzite. We're gonna run the poll right now. Don't be fooled either. Just because Zorin is Windows-like doesn't mean it's not Linux. You still have full console experience if you like. That's true about Zorin Lite, but most download Core. Alright, the poll is up. You guys vote. Sorry, you guys and gals. Vote. GNOME. Zorin is winning. Mint is in second place. Okay, let me look at the chat real quick, see if I missed anything. Zorin has a good choice for GUI. Okay. Arch is not recommended. Yep, definitely not. I like Mint and would switch if I could. Catchy with Windboat is good. Jose Castro is the main programmer of Bazzite and has a YouTube channel. Oh. Wait. Not that one. Not the baseball player. Wait, Jose? Or is it Jorge? Yes, here's his channel. Let's take a look. Oh. Rax the Gamer's Nexus benchmarking Bazite. So he does have his own channel. He's the main programmer of it. Would the main programmer be also considered the creator? Or was it a different someone else? In terms of like chain of command, I guess. Will all that talk of Zoran with all that talk of Zoran, I am intrigued, Law. Even though unless Windows royally F up, I won't be changing. Yeah, maybe do it on a virtual machine or on a secondary system. There's no way I could ever switch over on my main system. Like, I think it would interrupt my workflow way too much. But okay, let's see, what's his most popular video? Amazon Echo. Isn't it kind of crazy, the people who do like amazing great things? Like, you would think that they get like a ton of following and viewership on like the videos covering this stuff, but I'm very surprised like more people don't follow him. Is Bazite considered pretty niche? Has the stream been lagging for anyone else, or has it just my internet? Are you guys... Let me look at the connection. I don't have any drop frames, and I'm going at 8 megabits per second pretty consistently. Yeah, my system's not like crazily bogged down or anything. You good? Smooth? Okay, it might just be you. Try refreshing or closing if you're on your phone the app. Sometimes YouTube just be doing weird stuff after like an hour and a half or two. Video is great, no lag. Awesome. Okay, Mint is a great start, a great way to start and to feel comfortable. You should challenge yourself to install WoW since you play it. It's kind of a hurdle since people get hung up. Give on Linux. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, let me write this down. Install WoW on Linux. That could be one of the stream days. Like, I think trying to tackle some of the Linux hurdles would be very fun to do on stream. Just because I can only ever experience this once, right? Like, your first time trying and doing something like this, you can never only experience it once. Because once you do it, then you become a little bit more familiar with it, and it's not a true first-time experience anymore. But yeah, I'm down. I'm down for suggestions of what you guys want to also do as a group on stream. Because, I mean, so it sounds like a decent amount of people in the community, in the chat right now, have some experience at least playing around or even power users of different Linux distros. But I would imagine there are a lot of people like me who have never even touched it just because, either lack of interest or lack of time. I would never say I was super like against it or disinterested, but I think other things took priority for me. So, you should download a bunch and then run the OS from the installers without installing to poke around. For 10 to 15 minutes and then decide. That's why they let you test the OS without fully installing. Wait, what? Seriously? Wait, you should download a bunch. Wait. What are we talking about here? And are we talking about not in a virtual environment? Like, you can test it as like a portable exe, or am I misunderstanding that? He is the 4-star general. Oh, you can just boot it live. Okay, live instead of the full install. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. I thought you meant you could do it in like straight up the Windows environment. That would if they did have a version like that, where it just created, you know, like a really small, like a super localized virtual machine for you to like at least click around and mess with it. Just anything to make the user experience easier and without having to sacrifice like straight up wiping your OS. So if that's the case, then I could make a bunch of different bootables, I think. I need to check how many free thumb drives I have. Unless you can fit multiple on one thumb drive, then I guess we could mess around with it before dedicating into it. But right now the votes, oh, Mint came out on top. Is that with all Linux distros that you could run them right off of the thumb drive? Because I know, like, that's how my Unraid server is working, and that is Linux based. But I guess I didn't make the connection that that would be like all Linux based OSs would be that way. He'll go from not installing on main system to dual booting to keeping Windows only on as a backup. I don't think so. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, how many of you guys out there are full-time Linux and don't even basically barely touch Windows anymore? Are there any of you guys out there? If you flash a bunch to a bunch of different SSDs and use SSD dock, there you go. Oh yeah, I could do that. I do have a dock, and I do have a bunch of those spare SSDs, Chris. Okay. Maybe we do that. Then if you like it from within the live environment, you can tell it to full install from that same temporary environment. You could go straight into the install. And is this with all of them? Like, is that just a core functionality of Linux and not like the specific distros? Like, they all can do that? From the test environment, go straight to the install without having to like restart and go back into the boot menu and choosing. My brother fully switched to Bazite. I am lagging way behind, but yes, you can test them without installing from USB. Okay, got it. You can dual boot to your system without wiping your... Oh, okay, check out Ventoy. You can toss a bunch of ISOs on a big thumb drive. Once you install USB, you can drop the ISO into it, boot, and pick which one. Okay. Not all distros are live. Okay. That was my question, because I wasn't sure if that was like a function or feature of Linux in general. But okay. I've tried a few that do that, unsure if all. Oh, got it. With Ventoy, you can add multiple and run them. Okay. Okay. Let me write this down so I can get all this prepared for next week. Where is it? Here. Let me open up a window. Okay, so I got that. And I will... I'm trying to even do the... I want that to be a part of the experience. So, okay, I'm going to install Ventoy. But I'm not going to, like, go to each of the websites. Because I want to do all that on stream. Ventoy is super easy for... Okay. Okay, we will do that then. Download Ventoy, Danny. You can run multiple distros. So I would do that. I have a dock and, well, a 128 gigabyte, a 128 gigabyte SSD be fine for the 4. I mean, I guess we could do all 4 of these, even though it looks like Mint is the front runner that we will eventually deep dive more into. Mint has it, Bazat has it. I think all the ones you listed have it. Awesome. Cool. I heard it works better if you have Linux on the hard drive, then use VMbox for Windows. The other way around doesn't work so good. Okay. All right. Take it easy, Colossal. Have a good night. What up there, Observer of Thoughts? I've been on Linux full time since 2015, but dabbling since 2006, says Joe P. Okay. Will this become low, but Linux on a budget? I don't think so. I don't know how much people want to watch a first-time user dick around. What are your thoughts of all the RTX 5090s all gone again? What do you mean? Just like how there's like no inventory. Is that the case right now? If I went to Newegg, I mean, the 5090s is not within reach for many of us. So I don't know if I have a ton of thoughts on that, but okay, so if we want to look at 5090s, the cheapest one that you can get, oh my god, these are just laptops. These are laptop 5090s, but you can't even get one on Newegg for, oh my god. Okay. Out of stock. Okay. Cool. Let's see on Amazon. I don't know if I have many thoughts on that, so long as the lower tier cards are still available. You can still pick up this one for 3,800, which, I mean... Oh, and this is like the AIO version, too. I don't know if they have a cheaper... But, oof. 5080s for near 2,000? Because it's the ROG one? Yeah... I mean, in general, so 5090s being all snatched up, not available, whatever. Not like that's like I truly feel only like 1% of PC power PC users or gamers are using them. But the issue is when cards like the 5080, which is more, you know, I would say consumer affordable. The cheapest one is 1,500 there, 1,400 here. Going back to Newegg. Like, are there any that's even close to the MSRP? Ooh, 1,500. Yeah, so that's a bad sign. When a $1,000 card that was pretty readily available, I feel, for $1,200 not too long ago. Yeah, look, out of stock. Here, nope, out of stock too. If you need a high-end graphics card, you better pick one up somewhat soon, because even the 9070 XTs, are these at least still in 9070s are a little bit pricier than they were before, still somewhat reasonable, but where's the 9070 XTs at? 9070 XT cheapest one is going to be $650, but that's open box. Let's look at the cheapest. 700. Nope, that's not an XT. What's the most affordable XT right now? $700. Yeah, they've gone up in price. They've gone up like 15-20%. They were like 600 for a long time, up until the whole RAM shortage. So get your cards if you need it now. Challenge yourself to use Linux for 30 days? I cannot. There's no way. I cannot, with being a content creator that uses Premiere Pro primarily. It would interrupt my workflow way too much. When trying Linux, you have to really get into the mindset of thinking outside the Windows box. Remember, you can run a lot of Windows programs on Linux, but Linux is not Windows. I think this is going to be really fun because... I've told you guys about this before. Like, anytime I have to jump on to like a MacBook or like a Apple Mac, whatever the heck this built-in screen computer thingy is, iMacs, I feel like a fish out of water. Like, the most basic things, I'm like, wait, how do I do this? Like, how do I get into the settings? And how do I change the resolution? Wait, I plugged in a thumb drive. Where did the thumb drive pop up? How do I copy and paste it to the file explorer location I want? Like, the most basic things that we have been wired to do on Windows, like, it's the back of our hand. On Mac OS, I'm just like lost. Now, Linux, if we do go Mint, it sounds like you guys said it looks like Windows, so that wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'm sure that there's still like settings and preferences and menus and stuff that are different, that it's gonna trip me up a little bit. So I think that's gonna be fun to experience in real time, especially with the crowd watching me and criticizing me or helping me along, whichever. So I think it's gonna be really fun. Am I gonna stream from the Linux box? No. I think I gotta go through a capture card to my main system, at least for the time being. Well, first of all, the hardware in there is not the most powerful. I don't want it to like detrimentally affect the stream quality. You know, RX 580 and then some like 15-year-old Xeon, right? for at least the initial part. Maybe we will do like one stream off of it, but initially, because we're gonna have to like maybe start and restart the system, I gotta do it through capture card, because we can't interrupt the stream for like troubleshooting and stuff like that. I think they dropped the 5072 because they can OC near 5080 level. What do you mean by dropped it? Like the TI? You meant the TI, right? Didn't they bring it back? I saw the news on that. They were supposed to cancel the 5070 Ti because this, you know, they would rather allocate that VRAM to other cards that are more expensive. But then, oh wait, that wasn't what we officially said. We're not axing the 5070 Ti. It's not officially end of life. So I don't know if it's still ongoing. I think Hardware Unboxed was one of the first who reported on that because they got word from one of, I think it was Asus. But it looks like they walked back on it, but it doesn't matter if they're not readily available, right? Which I don't know if they are. Let's see, RTX 5070 Ti. 5070 Ti, yeah. Let's see, they're $1,400. Okay, that's 5070 for 5. Okay, yep. Let's see where the first Ti we can find on this list is. You cannot, guys, just a few months ago, these cards were going for like actually MSRP or even lower. I think during the Black Friday or second Amazon Prime Day stream, we found $700 5070 Ti's. Right now, the cheapest one I can find is $1,200. And let's see what Amazon has. I'm not trying to, I'm only bringing this up because people are talking about it in the chat. I'm not trying to, you know, scare everybody right now, but just a gentle reminder that it's going to look maybe a lot worse before it starts looking better with regards to the graphics card market. So if you are in the market for something, you might have to buy a holdover card or a stopgap card for the time being. Because yeah, I can't even find 5070. Oh, here we go. $1,000. Cool. No featured offers available. A card, that's like a 33% increase. Eesh. Good thing we're messing around with Linux, and it doesn't matter too much about what hardware we put in there. You guys have noticed, I talked about it in the last video, I'm trying to stray away from build-related content for the most part. I do have a build update coming up soon, but other than that, I'm trying not to do too many, at least PC builds with new hardware. We're gonna go back to start doing like super cheap $300, $400 builds with like 4 generation old parts, because that's gonna be the only thing affordable for the time being. I highly recommend Joe Collins, Easy Linux. Easy Linux on YouTube. Did I spell that right? Easy, oh, 2 E's Linux. Joe Collins, Easy Linux. Okay, I'm going to subscribe to that on my other window that is logged in. Oh, okay, so Linux tutorials, how-tos and stuff. Okay, all right, subscribed. I would definitely check that out. I won't check it out before we do the stuff because I do want to go into it pretty blind, but I will have that as a reference. All prices jumped last week after NVIDIA news of dropping 5070 Ti production, which was technically not the real news because I think both of them and Asus came back out and said we did not axe it, right? You can get the Asus Prime, and the Prime is like the most baseline model, right, of the 5070 Ti. Yeah, the Asus Prime is like I think their entry level one. I don't know if there's one that's, because the Tough Gaming, I think, is one step above that. But yes, at Best Buy, and it looks like, was that B&H? B&H and Best Buy, $900. Which, oh my God, we saw it for $200 less, like not even a few months ago. Pro tips: the two tools to OC a GPU on Linux are lacked for AMD and green with NV for NVIDIA. And benchmarking is the Phoronix test suite. Oh, we are getting way ahead of ourselves. I don't know. That will probably be a few streams down the road. But please remind me when that time comes. Look, I'm not shilling for NVIDIA or anything. Store. But I think you could. I think these are still in stock. You can buy officially from NVIDIA the 5070 for $550. Can you buy the 5070 NVIDIA Marketplace? Can you actually get this? At Micro Center. Oh, screw you. $5070 Ti. Are they... There's 3 models here. You can... What? Why would the Asus Prime be out of stock for $1,000? What are these prices? I guess you can get this one maybe... Oh, this is Micro Center? Oh, screw you. And this is going to take me to Best Buy? Add to cart. Did that work? Oh, I have to log in and everything? Okay. Oof. But this one, I don't know, man. People hate on the 12 gigabytes of VRAM, but this price is looking pretty nice right now considering everything that's happening. Was there no 5070 Ti FE? I forget. Watery events or Heavy Metal Tech is asking, do you know if there's any distros that have secure boot for Battlefield? What games require secure boot? Wasn't it Valorant? So League of Legends. Okay, so Riot Games, Battlefield, the newest Call of Duty, the finals, and EA Sports FC. That what? Football club? That's the soccer, the football game. That's the list? Is that it? Feels like NVIDIA knew the price of memory was going to go up. I mean... Have you seen the videos of all these companies colluding with each other and passing the money around? Yeah. $5070 is quick. Yeah, I think the 5070 is going to play GTA 6 just fine. I don't think it having 12 gigabytes of VRAM weighs it heavily down as much as people like to criticize it for. Also, I just realized... Those two look like they're the same color, but that's supposed to be white and that's supposed to be blue. Interesting. I'm going to push the 5070 to run triple 4K. I mean, turn that upscaling on, baby. And that frame generation. All right, what are we at on the votes? Let me take a picture and post it. Let me take a snapshot of this. Oh, crap. No. I think we're going to have to end the results. Get your votes in. Where is it at? Can I bring this up? Nope, I can't. But get your votes in on the poll. Wow. Almost 40% Mint, and everything else roughly around 20-ish% for Ubuntu, Zorin, and Bazite. So Mint got almost double the votes. Craig Lilly, are you still in the house? Because I think your choice won. Do you think I can run 4K with the 5070 Ti in single-player games? Yeah. You might need upscaling if it's a super AAA game. You might need frame gen, but I think you will get a still enjoyable experience with your 5070 Ti. I mean, single player games. Do people care about running that like 200 FPS? Is like, I guess. What about even at 60 FPS? Let's say you're playing a single player game like Assassin's Creed, which I guess you can argue like, oh, there's countering and dodging and stuff, so you might want higher frame rate. But like, still, I think for those games, I like. I'm not gonna cry about 60 FPS. It's always nice to have nicer, higher refresh rate, higher frames, but I think 60 is playable for those types of games. But I don't know. People might be a lot more sensitive, or like have higher expectations than that. Just lower the settings a bit and use DLSS. Yeah, that's true too. Modern games look beautiful at medium settings. I don't know if like people don't realize that, but like running at ultra is just a frame rate, frame time killer at like diminishing return, perceivable differences in graphics. I think most people would be happy with like high, very high settings, but like when you have to in a pinch on a budget, I think medium works well. All right, I'm gonna post this. Oh, Bazite is. Some more people voted for Bazite because it's up to 24% now. Mint is down to. Oh no, Mint came back up to 38%. I know someone who is running Fortnite on performance mode 720p on a laptop with NVIDIA MX 330 2GB GPU. Hey, if playing the game, even at that, is still better than not playing the game at all and sitting and staring at the wall, right? Not sure what prompted doing Linux on stream, but I recently switched to Ubuntu as Windows got horrible for me and I'm never going back. I did have to use Ubuntu for Plex. I don't know what prompted it either. Someone asked about it, and then I just mentioned like I have no free time right now, with everything going on, like just the content creation and then like family and stuff, and it would just be for me to like pick up another thing to start learning and messing around with. I just like don't have time at the moment. But then I don't know if it was me or the person or the people in the chat who said, why not do it on stream? So I think that's how the idea came to be. And we're actually going to execute on it, or actually going to do it. I wasn't just talking fluff. Oh, crap. The chat has not been on the screen for a long time. Linux kernel 6.19 is supposed to have a 30% uplift in performance on new hardware. So when something like this happens, does this get rolled out to pretty much every distro? And what is the lag time between that? Like from when kernel 6.19 is officially released and available, when do the different distros incorporate it? Or is that something that just happens? So will Danny start telling Craig, you're still here. By the way, I use Mint. No. People were giving that kid such a hard time in the comments of the news short. I didn't think anything of it when he was excited to share with me that he used Arch Linux and stuff like that. But, there's that saying, it's kind of like vegans. Like, how do you know someone's a vegan? Because they'll tell you. There's that kind of a joke made about Linux users as well. How do you know if someone uses Linux? They'll tell you. Like, people can't, like, stop talking about it. Which, I mean, people are enthusiastic about this kind of stuff, right? This is the space we're in. I have no problem with that. But some people really get on people's cases about that. No, not all distros. But, I mean, will it eventually get it? And what is usually the lag time on it? No, the distro has to be built on the kernel. Oh, okay. So, once that gets released, then, just based on the past, like, how long does it usually take? Like, when 6.14 came out, when did Mint get built around 6.14? My favorite kernel version are the kinds that you put in the microwave and get movie theater popcorn. The kernel that ships is up to the individual distro dev teams. Debian uses very old ones and Arch uses the very latest. I mean, I would imagine like some of the most popular ones on the list that we're voting on, they do try to eventually get it up to date, right? Or are any of these ones sitting on really old kernels? I'm hoping a lot of games with anti-cheat will go to Linux. Well, here, let's pull back up the chart. OS market share chart. Where is this from? Stat counter global stats. I don't know if this is okay, what is a user share? Here we go. Okay, I would think Wikipedia, we can look at the sources later. As of August 2025, Android, which uses Linux, okay, is the world's most popular. Okay, that doesn't count though, because that's on mobile. On desktop, okay, here we go. Here's the two sources, 3 and 4. So we'll go directly to the source itself. Oh, it is from Stat Counter. Interesting. So Windows, 70% market share. OS X, 15. Unknown, okay, 8. Linux is not, almost 4%. Let me zoom in more so you guys can actually see the number. Oh my god, this font sucks. It is so light. And then Chrome OS, 1.81. Is that what all the Chromebooks in all the schools making up this less than 2%? But, yeah. See, I don't know how much work it takes for game developers to make them like compatible with different OSs. But when you look at a chart like this and you see Linux at less than 4%, is the juice worth the squeeze for them? Or do they know people who really want a game with their game that requires anti-cheat and all that stuff? They'll just dual boot and they're just not going to even care to like put in the time and effort, right? We're creamy. You've got double Chrome OS. More than double. If the Steam machine can make a splash, that is what it would take to bring anti-cheat around. That is a good point. Debian-based distros tend to be behind for stability. It can be a couple of years for Mint. Interesting. Okay. But it sounds like it's not really a problem since there's plenty of distros that just use like really old kernels. I guess, do you miss out on like security features and updates being on older kernels like that? Like to a point where it's a problem? I will mention I am on a 6750 XT and I think the lack of bloat plus great Linux AMD drivers plus Windows 4 right now made it a 9-day performance boost. 1% lows improved across the board for Daiquiri. Okay. I knew mainstream Linux was a problem. I know of a random dude who preaches Linux Mint and still has trouble with social media passwords. Wait, what is the correlation or connection there? Or are you just saying this person who preaches Mint but is also so tech illiterate that they can't? Or is there specifically a problem with Linux Mint and, I don't know, your password saver? So my question are, can you use Linux for banking and online purchasing, and is it safe? That is a good question, Rickshaw. That's not even stuff that I even thought of this far ahead yet. Like, but that is something that I do on my Windows PC, like pretty regularly, at least once weekly, if not more. That 3% doesn't count Steam users. Mint still performs decent for gaming. Just remember, the distro does not always affect the game. It's the game's hardware requirements that just more dictates it. Okay. Good to know. Truth is, most average consumers don't even know what Linux is and don't care and just buy a Windows laptop or PC. That is true. Even most above average consumers probably fall into that category, I would think. Wait, I thought the whole point of running Linux was to cheat. Who said that? Wait until those Chromebook kids grow up. Their strat is for later down the line. Windows is just way more capable. Anti-cheat will come to Windows gaming on Linux, and I would think it would be this year. Absolutely not. Security is better than Windows. Wait, absolutely not. What are you saying absolutely not to? Security is better than Windows, in my opinion. Sorry, I had too many thoughts going on. So you're saying Linux security is better than Windows, but which statement were you saying absolutely not to? Was it to somebody else or uh, to something I said? Security is only as good as the user. Yeah, that is true. Wants Linux but has trouble remembering passwords, signing in accounts. Dude, do you guys use a password manager? I'm going to let the poll run to the end of the night just because, guys, remember, the poll is running right now. This is going to be what we kind of go for at least a little bit amount of time. We could dick around with all of them, but I think for the first stream, just get the time it'll take to get the what was it? The Ventoy and everything installed and to be able to poke around a bit. I don't think we're going to be able to realistically go through all 4 distros, right? That's just because it takes time to like go through the whole setup and stuff. So it looks like Mint is ahead. We got Mint ahead, and we might start with that one. But what up, Aiden? Yo. Run Linux in from a live USB to do banking. When you're done, just eject USB. It's like you were never there. But regarding password managers, do you guys use password managers? Or do you just, remember what passwords you use for different websites? Or do you use the same password for all the websites? I have never used a password manager before. Not even because the Chrome has a built-in one, right? But I don't know why. I guess I never lose my phone and I'm never away from my phone. But I just like the ability to, if my phone is upstairs, I don't have to or I guess even using the built-in Chrome one. I guess even from a fresh system, which I do play around with fresh systems all the time because I'm building systems, messing with other people's builds and stuff like that. If I needed to log into something, whether it be super important banking stuff or just logging into Reddit or Steam or YouTube, I just like being able to do it without having to rely on a password manager. But I don't know, is that an old archaic way of thinking? KeyPass XE is a solid local password manager. I would never use a cloud-based one. Just back up your files. I'm starting to use KeyPass XE, which is a free app. Oh, 2 people, hopefully 2 different people, are mentioning that. Okay. You ask if distros vary in how secure they are. That's what I meant. All distros are built on a base off. Okay, got it. That was what you were replying to. I write my passwords down on a sticky note and keep it under my keyboard. I don't believe that at all. I've done all my online shopping and banking since this holiday and nothing weird's happened, and you're on your Linux. Okay. I feel like Windows is getting invasive, mainly asking for our data. Feels like it's been like that for a while, I feel. The safest to do banking is to go to the bank, not an app or OS. KeyPass XE is also hosted on your system. But what if you're not on your system? So do you get KeyPass on your phone? Because, sometimes we do mobile banking on our phone. Sometimes we do it on our PC. As is also logging into specific websites, like the number of websites that we visit on a daily basis. So you just get KeyPass on your phone and on any system that you use. Kind of is authenticators are probably the way of the future. The fact that the key to entry is constantly changing makes it even the most basic users more safe. But I guess at this point, if you're used to using password managers and stuff like that, is it not even you don't even think about, you don't even give it a second thought? It's it comes naturally. Because for someone who doesn't use it, I think that feels like an inconvenience. I know it's that the trade-off is the security, but I do use an authenticator, which I guess is kind of halfway there, because you have to have your authenticator or your phone with you when you log in, even though you use your password. But then having your password and an authenticator, both, you gotta let me go to KeyPass, get my password. Oh, now it's gonna ask my authenticator. It's just a foreign thought to me still because I haven't, come around to using a password manager. KeyPass is on Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android. You just take your file to the device. Okay. I use password managers. Otherwise, I'd keep my passwords too simple so I'd remember it. I think that's the problem, right? Because a lot of people use the same password for every website, which is not good security-wise. Or they use like the same base and then they change the last things, which then you can either forget that or it's still not super secure because there's only a few unique characters. Okay, KeyPass. Okay. And this is, you guys aren't bots, right? The amount of people in the chat right now talking about KeyPass reminds me of when you go to a fresh new YouTube video and you see the bot comments and they're all talking about some new crypto that launched and they're like, or it's just some like investment scheme. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You guys have been there. I'm not saying you guys are bots, but like I am surprised the amount of people talking about the same password manager. Is this like the best one? Because I recognize you guys' usernames. I don't think you guys are bots. I keep my passwords on my Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I can't... Wait. Demolin. Are you kidding? Or are you serious right now? Because that sounds very sarcastic. But... I don't know. The fact that you bring up the Meta Ray-Bans is why I brought up your comment. Because I have a pair of Meta Ray-Bans. They have been amazing for capturing video of the girls. Hands-free. But I'm curious if you're joking. I think you're joking, but there might be some use case where you're not. Law chat was talking about, so I looked it up. No, Danny, it's just a legit option. I live in Fall City, Washington. Ah. I'm just kidding. I don't think you guys are really bots. It was just funny the amount of people talking, like, the amount of people who either backed it or, like, started mentioning it in the comments. It took me by surprise. Bitty, what's up? Okay. I'm in identity security, and I've never heard of KeyPass XC in my life, lol. I'm not a bot, Danny, I swear. If you use an online password manager, Danny, Bitwarden has a good rep. I mean, yeah, I don't plan on using it anytime soon, but I have thought about it over the years. I just never like dedicated to going in on it. It's totally safe, trust me, bro. Okay, Dama, you were messing around, right? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, who would trust the company behind Facebook with their private keys and passwords and stuff? But I don't know. Maybe there was something I was missing. Maybe with, dude, with AI and everything now, it would not put it past me that one day everyone will have an AI assistant in whatever device they carry around with them, whether it be their glasses, their watch, or their phone. And that AI assistant will help them log into websites. That is totally something I see in the future. And that's what I thought might have been happening when you said that. So. You use Bitwarden? Okay. Oh, now everybody's talking about Bitwarden. Do we got the Bitwarden bots in the house now? I'm just kidding. But, okay. Talking about password managers. You're right. The fact that now people know that you're on a password manager versus not means they have another way of trying to figure out how to breach you. They were just going to guess random stuff now, but now they're going to try to get access to your password manager login, see? So maybe we shouldn't specify if we're actually using one or not. All right, looking back at I don't know why the poll isn't updating on this on-screen chat, but Bazite is catching up to Mint. If you guys haven't voted yet, please vote on which OS we're going to do on stream. I got to end stream soon here. We're 2.5 hours in. I hear the girls going crazy upstairs. But Mint is still leading the pack. And I need to take a picture. I keep my passwords on my toilet paper. Can we get the Raid Shadow Legends bots in here? No, no Raid Shadow Legends, please. I've never played Raid Shadow Legends in my entire life, but it does not look like a fun game. Now, how can I say that if I've never played it? Because it looks like the most predatory gacha game. I do play a gacha game, but not Raid Shadow Legends. Can't you self-host with Bitwarden? Let me look at this. It looks like you can. Wait. Self-hosted Bitwarden deploy one. It looks like it's possible. Self-host an organization. Self-hosted deploy. Self-host. Self-host deployment. Okay. It looks like it's possible, but I don't know what hoops you have to jump through to be able to do that. We're supposed to use passwords. Who knew? There's a couple of What do you use, Jason? Well, since everyone's sharing what they use and putting themselves at risk, what password manager do you use if you use one? KeyPass. I'm lazy. Oh, so you use Google at the moment. There you go, guys. Go after Jason's stuff. He says he uses the Google one. That gives you a head start. What was the keyboard? It looked like mine from the thumbnail. No, it's the MCHOSE Ace 68 Turbo. Is this one? MCHOSE. Fully aluminum, heavy as heck. Sounds not talky apparently, according to people. Ah! But yeah, it is this one right here that we unboxed earlier on the stream. I think for stream, I'm not gonna use it as my daily driver because I still need my 10 key. But for streams, I will use this one from here on out for now. We will see if I can get more comfortable with it. And I know I'm supposed to use it as my full daily driver, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll switch between the two. Yeah, I hope you like my Zanga account, bruh. Zanga 2.0 is here. What does Zanga even look like? Can I look at a Zanga page of, I don't know, like how do I go to someone's Zanga page? Like I can't just start looking at people's stuff. I want to know what does Zanga look like in 2025. Zanga, I never had a Zanga. I didn't start with social media until MySpace. What I remember though, at least my perception of Zanga was a lot of Asian people used Zanga back when it was popular. Especially when the split from Zanga and kind of MySpace kind of happened. I feel like a lot of Asian people still stuck to Zanga. Am I right in remembering this? Was that a thing? Exactly. XXX Viet Asian boy XXX69. KeyPass, not KeyPass. Google and iPhone password manager are built in. Let's see. Ooh, I was looking at the MCHOSE at one point. Yeah, but it's a rip of... It is the rip of the Equinix? Really? Let me take a look at this thing. I mean, how can you rip off a keyboard? The placement of the scroll wheel is different. I guess, how different can you put keys on a base or platform? Like, an aluminum body. Like, I guess what makes a keyboard a rip of the other when... I mean, guys... Wouldn't most 65 key keyboards look something similar to this? Sometimes they got this little scroll wheel up here. Sometimes they got it over on this side. Sometimes they have a knob. But like, I guess maybe this light bar, I guess, might have been a thing of an Equinix keyboard, but how does a keyboard rip off another? Really? Asians use Zup? Never even heard of that. Y'all think you're edgy? Your Tumblr was not safe for work. Daiquiri says, hey Danny, rarely catch your streams, so good time to say I learned how to build from your videos and have now built like 7 PCs, including for myself, girlfriend, and brother. That's awesome to hear. I mean, I don't know how long you've been watching the channel, but every time I hear people learn how to build PCs or deal hunt and stuff, learn about the used market and deal, saving money and stuff, and they were influenced by me, then I feel good because then I can truly, represent the title of influencer. I hate the word influencer. I like the term content creator better, but I know I do have some influence on people. So when it's a good influence like this, I love hearing it. So thanks for sharing that story. I appreciate it. So what do you say when people ask, what do you do for work? You could say anything, but with regards to you could say I'm a YouTuber, I'm a content creator. Influencer is like never, ever blurted from my mouth. Ever. I make videos online. I don't know. There's so many other ways to say it. To me, content creator, I don't think is cringy at all because that's exactly what you do. You create content. At its base form, even people with 0 followers can technically be content creators because as long as you're creating content, it holds true, right? But influencer, I guess, means that you actually have influence on people so you have a following and such. But I don't know. I've never liked the word influencer because I've always kind of related it to like Instagram influencers and people who make content that's not as educational, but more of they're just glorified walking billboards for running ads for companies and stuff, which isn't like a problem, but there's like I don't know. There's a stigma in my own mind for the word influencer to Instagrammers because I feel like when the term influencer started to get, more used and stuff, I did not apply that to YouTubers. In my mind, like influencers were like the Instagrammers for some reason. Yeah, those types of influencers call themselves content creators these days. I know. It's at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter, right? The words are all synonymous and all that stuff. So you just say video editor, but you're not just an editor. You shoot, you script, you create. Yeah, you influence through your content, but I hate when people who think they can influence people. Yeah. I don't try to I don't think highly of the word, so I don't use it that often. Yeah, but I don't want to get into it. Yeah. Now, when you see, a video editor is very different than someone who's a YouTuber, though. Because a video editor, for the most part, all they do is edit. They edit for other influencers / content creators / YouTubers. That all they, for the most part, is touch Premiere Pro. When I think of video editor, at least. So the Linux poll, is it for another day? It is another day. There was no way we were going to install it today. I said that at the beginning of the stream. Sorry. If you were waiting, Skyward King, I apologize. No. It was, half of this was messing with the keyboard. The other half was deciding on which one and letting people vote. Which meant, oh my god, Bazite is catching up. But I got to end stream now. I've been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I hear the girl screaming upstairs. So, I'm clicking end. The poll results are now going to show up in the chat. This is the final score. I'm going to post it in stream submissions. This is what we're going with. You also put on my PCMR. I have not made an ASMR build video in so long. I don't know if I'll ever bring those back. Maybe. Because some of them like really popped off and did well, but it did get close. Bazite got pretty close, but all right, guys. There should be a video this weekend. It is actually finally gonna be on this chair that I forgot who asked me about it. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I look forward to a bunch of hate comments because I'm going to make a video over a $1,000 office chair. So yeah, there's that, and then there should be some new YouTube shorts and stuff, as well as you can catch me in the Discord server if you have not been there yet. But thanks for the chill stream tonight, y'all. It was fun. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great rest of your night and a great weekend coming up. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.